Hi, my name is Gigi. Courtney, I'm actually part of the Green for All Academy, so yeah, great organization. But one of my questions stems to how do we begin to build a relationship or have a conversation about ensuring that people of color, i.e. in the Huff or Central area, is involved with this process that's going on, as well as talking about sustainability in terms of having green jobs become green careers?
Well, I can talk about it from the point of view of how we constructed our program. We very intentionally, early in the design of the program, reached out to the community development corporations to not only gain some insight, but also to establish some relationships to help us outreach. And we have learned quite a bit from those relationships that are still very formative at this time. I would say that I guess I'm trying to decipher between, wearing my official hat as the person representing this program and someone who just feels passionately about building an economy that is one that rewards innovation, but that really provides for all. And clearly this program with which I'm affiliated at the college represents that commitment. And so as I've been working with the college on the program, I've realized that there have been times when I've been working on the program and working on a specific element and realized that what I was really hoping to advocate for was a broader regional strategy around just what you're describing. And I think there's a lot of very encouraging activity going on in the region. Namely, there's something that's now being spearheaded by the mayor of Cleveland, particularly in this region up in Northeast Ohio. There's going to be a summit that is going to be very inclusive in August. And that's a great opportunity for the whole community, labor, business, policymakers, individual grassroots folks to come together and formulate a vision for this community. And the whole idea is to say, okay, the river burned in 1969. Where do we want to be in 10 years, 2019, 50 years from that date? How do we want to form an inclusive, sustainable economy that provides jobs? And so that's a really specific way that I think the region is starting to coalesce all these different efforts and all of these different people who care a lot about this topic. So that was partially kind of Courtney DeOreo's view, and something that I know that the college is active with. The director of the Green Academy, as well as other leaders from the college, have been a part of that, as have been maybe some of the people in this room even. I know that it's a well-constructed design team that they're putting together for this summit. So stay tuned for that.
This is probably directed more at Amy than anybody else. Senator Sherrod Brown is currently opposed to the cap and trade as it stands because he feels that the cost will come disproportionately from states like Ohio that have high energy generation from coal, and the benefits will go elsewhere. How do you see tying the capping with green job production here in Ohio, in part to bring him on board?
Right. That's a great question. And I think that I really respect his point of view on that. I think it's essential that we begin using less carbon and emitting less carbon as an economy, because it's contributing to global warming and it's just really hurting our environment. And I think that Sherrod Brown is committed to that as well. But I do think that there are going to be industries in Ohio that stand to be disproportionately negatively affected if we simply cap the cost of carbon and don't do anything else. And one of the reasons that I run a policy research organization is that I really do feel that the specific details of policy do matter very, very much. I think it is absolutely possible to reduce our carbon emissions, raise money in the process from people who use carbon, and use the money that we've raised to retrain, retool manufacturing facilities, help manufacturers clean up their processes, and emerge better able to thrive in a cleaner energy economy. So I think it's a well-placed concern that we don't just raise the cost of emissions and just say it doesn't matter who pays the consequences of that. Because I think that we saw that happen with our trade agreements. We felt that there were some benefits to putting in place trade agreements, but we didn't really adequately consider who would be most harmed by those trade agreements, and we didn't put in place protections to enable those people to transition to a more globalized economy. So I think we cannot make that same mistake again, and we have to say that if we're going to have a comprehensive policy that really makes shifts in our economy, makes certain things cost more, makes certain things cost less, we need to figure out who's going to be threatened by that and how to help them transition.
And if I may interject, Amy and I discuss global climate change legislation quite a bit. And I don't think that cap and trade is the point. Cap and trade is designed to send a price signal that will move investments into non-emitting technologies. What in my mind is more important is a national energy efficiency and renewable energy standard, because you create the jobs by making the investments in the soft path of technologies. If it's cap and trade that promotes that, if it's an energy efficiency renewable energy standard, that is the approach to doing it as well. So I have some concern about the current Waxman-Markey bill. There is a disproportionate impact on Ohio because of our significant use of coal, but and I think the bill is lacking in consumer protections. I, for one, do not trust the utilities to take care of us if we give them 40% of the allowances. So I think we need to put a more structured framework in that, and I think that's the kind of thing that Senator Brown wants to see, to ensure that the disproportionate impact on Ohio is mitigated and that those who are vulnerable in this economy are protected.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Vicki Trotter, and I'm with Trotter's Dry Cleaners. We are green dry cleaners. We went green about 4 years ago, and we've been in business about 40 years. And my question is a follow-up for Carl. We're involved with youth and a lot of community activities, and one thing that we have developed is a training program too, a green training program for youth. And I'm wondering, like with Gigi's question, how is the union reaching out to our communities to help train individuals that might not go to college? We have a dropout rate that's 40%, and we're not preparing our youth for the change that will come rapidly. It's already come. And I'm just wondering, what are the unions doing to reach out in terms of their apprenticeship program to our inner city youth?
I can address, through our apprenticeship training program, our training director and also our training coordinator quite often are out at Cleveland Public Schools doing career days, promoting entry into our apprenticeship program. So our apprenticeship program advertises probably in, and I don't know the exact number, but I would guess probably at least 10 different publications, even targeted towards the minority community, to try to recruit people from those communities into our apprenticeship program. There are definite benefits to our union to gain accessibility to those minority people. And also I mentioned our ASAP program. So we're very involved in a community trying to recruit people for our apprenticeship program. But I'll talk to you after the session and give you the contact information for our apprenticeship program.